The stars looked different from the viewing deck of the Earth, ship Unity *. Admiral Kang Jiwoo stood with his hands behind his back, watching the strange alien vessel approach. It was the year 2157, and humans had just made first contact. "They're hailing us again, sir," said Communications Officer Choi. Jiwoo nodded. "Put them through." The screen lit up with a face that wasn't human. The alien had purple skin, 4 eyes, and no hair. It spoke in perfect English. "Human vessel, this is Ambassador Zix of the Galactic Hegemony. We will dock with your ship in 10 minutes. Prepare your leaders." The screen went dark. Jiwoo took a deep breath. "Well," he said to his team, "let's make history." The meeting room was tense. 5 humans sat on one side of the table. 5 aliens sat on the other. The aliens called themselves the Hegemony. They ruled over 10,000 worlds. "Your species is young," said Ambassador Zix, "but we see potential in you." Supreme Commander Thax, a large alien with red markings on his face, looked less friendly. "Though you are clearly primitive," he added. Jiwoo kept his face calm, though he felt angry inside. "We may be new to space travel, but humans learn quickly." Thax made a sound like laughter. "You have one small colony on Mars and a research station on Europa. We have entire galaxies." "Yet you came to us," Jiwoo replied. "Why?" Ambassador Zix leaned forward. "We offer you protection. The universe is dangerous. Join the Hegemony as a protectorate, and we will ensure your safety." Jiwoo knew what that meant. Earth would lose its freedom. "And if we want more than protectorate status?" Thax's 4 eyes narrowed. "Do not push your luck, human." Jiwoo stood up slowly. "Let me be clear. Earth thanks the Hegemony for this visit. We are happy to form an alliance, but we will join as equals or not at all." The room went silent. The aliens looked shocked. Finally, Ambassador Zix spoke. "Admiral Jiwoo, your courage is noted. Perhaps we can find a middle ground." 3 days later, Jiwoo sat in his office reading the final agreement. Earth would join the Hegemony with special status. Humans would keep control of their solar system. They would share technology and join in defense against common enemies. Captain Han Sung-moon, a U.S. Marine attached to the diplomatic mission, entered the room. "Sir, do you trust them?" he asked. Jiwoo looked up. "No, but we need their technology and knowledge. And they need us too, even if they won't admit it." "What could they possibly need from us?" Sung-hoon asked. Jiwoo smiled. "Fresh thinking, new tactics, and something they've lost after ruling for so long: adaptability." Sung-hoon nodded slowly. "I still don't like Commander Thax. Did you see how he looked at us? Like we were insects." Jiwoo agreed. "Remember his face, Captain. Men like that make mistakes when they underestimate their opponents." "Are we their opponents, sir? I thought we just signed an alliance." Jiwoo looked out at the stars. "Let's hope we're allies. But prepare as if we're not." "That's an order." "Yes, sir," Sung-moon said. Neither man knew then how important that order would become, or that in 5 years, Supreme Commander Thax would make the greatest mistake in Hegemony history. He would kill a human general and awaken the full fury of Earth. 5 years passed. Captain Han Sung-hoon stood on the bridge of the Earth battleship Defiance *. The ship flew alongside 3 Hegemony cruisers. They were heading to a battle. "Enemy ships detected," said Tactical Officer Park. "Void Collective vessels, 6 of them." Sung-hoon nodded. The Void Collective was a mysterious enemy that attacked both human and Hegemony worlds. No one knew why. "Hegemony Command is asking for our battle plan," said Communications Officer Yoon. Sung-hoon smiled slightly. "Tell them we'll follow their lead." But he knew the Hegemony plan would fail. Their tactics never changed. They always attacked head-on with full force. The radio crackled. It was Commander Vex from the lead Hegemony ship. "Human vessel, stay back. We will handle this threat. As expected, the three hegemony ships moved forward in a straight line. The void ships scattered, surrounding them. They're going to be trapped, Sung-Hoon said. Helm, take us around behind the void ships. Weapons, prepare all cannons. The Defiance moved quickly. While the hegemony ships were caught in the middle, Sung-Hoon's ship attacked the void vessels from behind. 3 enemy ships exploded before they knew what happened. Now, Sung-Hoon ordered. The Defiance shot special missiles that released clouds of metal dust. The void ship's sensors couldn't see through it. They fired blindly while Sung-Hoon picked them off one by one. In 10 minutes, it was over. The hegemony ships had taken heavy damage, but all void ships were destroyed. Later, on the hegemony station, Commander Vex approached Sung-Hoon. Your tactics were unusual, Vex admitted, but effective. Thank you, Sung-Hoon said. We're happy to share our combat strategies. Some of us would welcome that, Vex said quietly. Others, not so much. Sung-Hoon knew who Vex meant. Supreme Commander Thax had been watching Earth closely for years. He didn't like how quickly humans advanced in space warfare. Lieutenant Park Min joined them. She worked as a liaison with the hegemony. Captain, Admiral Jiwoo wants to speak with you, she said. Sung-Hoon nodded and left. In a private room, he connected with Admiral Jiwoo on a secure line. Good work out there, Captain, Jiwoo said. His face looked tired. But I have concerns. What's wrong, sir? Our mining colony on Titan reported hegemony ships taking resources without permission. When I asked about it, they claimed it was a mistake. Sung-Hoon frowned. Do you believe them? No, Jiwoo said. I found similar reports from 3 other colonies. They're stealing from us, Captain. What are you going to do? I'm meeting with the Galactic Council tomorrow. I'll show them the evidence and demand answers. Sung-Hoon felt worried. Be careful, sir. Thax has never liked you. Jiwoo smiled. I'm always careful. But some things must be said, even when dangerous. After the call ended, Sung-Hoon noticed Lieutenant Minna looking concerned. What is it? He asked. Just rumors, she said softly. But some hegemony officers were talking about how humans are becoming too influential. They mentioned Admiral Jiwoo specifically. Sung-Hoon felt cold. Keep your ears open, Lieutenant, and be ready for anything. Neither of them knew that in less than 24 hours, Admiral Jiwoo's shuttle would explode in space, and humanity would learn the true face of their so-called allies. Captain Sung-Hoon was training with his team when the news came. A young officer ran into the room, face pale. Captain, Admiral Jiwoo's shuttle, it's gone. Sung-Hoon froze. What do you mean gone? It exploded, sir. The hegemony says it was an engine failure. The room went silent. Sung-Hoon felt like he couldn't breathe. When? He asked. 1 hour ago. He was on his way to the Galactic Council meeting. Sung-Hoon knew instantly. This was no accident. The timing was too perfect. 3 days later, Sung-Hoon sat in a dark meeting room on the Earth base. Across from him sat Lieutenant Park Minna. Her eyes were red. She had been close to Admiral Jiwoo too. I have something, she whispered, sliding a small device across the table. Sung-Hoon took it. What is this? I've been working undercover in Thax's command ship. This is a recording from their secure communications room. Sung-Hoon connected the device to a screen. A video appeared. Supreme Commander Thax was speaking to another alien. Is it done? Thax asked. Yes, Commander. The human admiral's shuttle was destroyed. It looks like an accident. Good. He had too much evidence. If he had shown the Council how we've been taking resources from their colonies, others might have supported them. What about the rest of the humans? Thax made a dismissive gesture. They are nothing without Jiwoo. He was their strongest voice. Now we can continue as planned. The video ended. Sung-Hoon sat very still. There's more, Minna said. They've been doing this to other species too, taking their resources, killing anyone who speaks up. How long have you known? I suspected for months. Ju asked me to gather proof. That's why he was going to the council. Sung-hoon stood up. We need to take this to Earth leadership immediately. The emergency meeting of Earth's Defense Council lasted all night. Generals, admirals, and political leaders watched the evidence in shocked silence. We trusted them, said the Earth President. We shared our technology, fought beside them. And they murdered Admiral Ju, Sung-hoon said. They've been stealing from our colonies. What will they take next? An older general spoke up. We can't fight the entire hegemony. They have thousands of worlds. We don't have to, Mina said. Lieutenant Park Mina, sir. I've been gathering intelligence. Many species in the hegemony are unhappy. They're forced to obey. If Earth stands up, others might join us. The room went quiet again. The president looked at Sung-hoon. Captain, you knew Admiral Ju best. What would he say? Sung-hoon thought about his mentor, his friend. He would say we have two choices, bow down or stand up. And humans don't bow easily. The president nodded slowly. Then we need to send a message, not just to Thax, but to everyone in the galaxy. I'll deliver it, Sung-hoon said. You understand what this means? Asked the president. Once we do this, there's no going back. Sung-hoon looked at each person in the room. Admiral Ju believed humans had something special. Not just courage, but hope. The hegemony has ruled through fear for too long. Someone needs to show the galaxy there's another way. The president stood. Very well. Captain Han Sung-hoon, we're promoting you to colonel. And you have new orders. Take the Defiance *. Deliver our message. And show the hegemony exactly what happens when they kill a human general. The Earth ship Defiance * moved into position near a major hegemony communications relay. Colonel Sung-hoon stood on the bridge, looking at the stars. His new rank still felt strange. Are we ready? He asked. Technical Officer Yoon nodded. Yes, sir. We can broadcast to the entire galactic network from here. Every planet. Every ship in the hegemony will receive our message. And our escape route. Plotted and ready, said Helm Officer Choi. Though they'll send ships after us. Let them try, Sung-hoon said. He turned to the communication station. Begin transmission. A red light turned on. Sung-hoon faced the camera. I am Colonel Han Sung-hoon, United States Marine Corps, Earth Defense Force. I speak to all beings in the galactic hegemony. He paused, thinking of Admiral Ju. 5 years ago, Earth joined the hegemony in good faith. We shared our knowledge. We fought your battles. We trusted your leaders. Sung-hoon's voice grew harder. 3 days ago, Admiral Kang Ju discovered that hegemony ships were stealing resources from human colonies. When he tried to bring this evidence to the Galactic Council, his shuttle was destroyed. This was no accident. We have proof that Supreme Commander Thax ordered his murder. Sung-hoon held up the data device. This contains the truth. We are sending it across all channels. Everyone will know what the hegemony leadership has done, not just to humans, but to many species. He leaned closer to the camera. For the murder of Admiral Kang Ju and the betrayal of humanity's trust, Earth hereby declares total war against the galactic hegemony leadership. You believed us to be primitive. You will learn how dangerous we truly are. Sung-hoon's eyes were cold. To all other species suffering under hegemony rule, you are not alone anymore. Earth stands with you. The time of fear is ending. He ended the transmission. Message sent to all systems, said Officer Yoon. Multiple hegemony warships responding, reported Officer Park. They're coming from all directions. Just as we expected, Sung-hoon said calmly. Engage stealth systems. The Defiance * seemed to vanish from space. It was Earth's newest technology, never shared with the hegemony. On thousands of worlds, beings of all shapes and sizes watched Sung-hoon's message, some with fear, some with hope. On the hegemony capital world, Supreme Commander Thax rage. Find that human ship. I want it destroyed. Counselor Xyra, an older female alien, spoke quietly. The damage is done, Commander. His message has reached everywhere. It doesn't matter, Fax said. They are one small world against our empire. You still underestimate them, Xyra warned. I have studied humans. They adapt faster than any species we've encountered. Enough, Fax shouted. Prepare our fleets. We will crush Earth with one swift attack. They will learn the price of defiance. Back on Earth, the president addressed the planet. People of Earth, we are at war, not by our choice, but by necessity. The hegemony will attack soon. Across the planet, humans prepared. Factories switched to making weapons. Soldiers trained day and night. Ships were built in orbit. On the Defiance asterisk, now safely hidden in an asteroid field, Sung Hoon met with his officers. The hegemony expects us to fight like they do, he said, with big fleets and direct attacks. But we won't, said Lieutenant Mina with a small smile. No, agreed Sung Hoon. We'll fight like humans always have when facing a larger enemy. We'll be smarter, we'll be faster, and we'll make them regret the day they decided to make an enemy of Earth. See, the hegemony attack came at dawn. 50 massive warships appeared near Earth's moon. They expected an easy victory. They were wrong. Earth's defense platforms activated. Not the old ones the hegemony knew about, but new ones, hidden on the dark side of the moon. Laser fire cut through 3 hegemony ships before they could react. On the command ship, Supreme Commander Thax watched in surprise. How did they build those so quickly? He demanded. Unknown, Commander, an officer replied. They weren't there in our last scan. Thax growled. It doesn't matter. Continue the attack. The hegemony ships moved forward. More Earth defenses appeared, hidden in orbit and on nearby asteroids. The battle grew fierce. Meanwhile, far from Earth, Colonel Sung Hoon led a small team on a different mission. The Defiance approached the hegemony flagship Eternal Victory *. It was Thax's personal ship, currently empty while he led the attack on Earth. Stealth systems holding, reported Officer Yoon. They don't see us. Sung Hoon nodded. With him were his best soldiers, Sergeant Kim Do-yeon, explosives expert, Sniper Lee Ji-young, and 5 others. Remember, Sung Hoon said, we need their command codes and fleet positions. Then we plant the devices and leave. They docked silently on the huge ship. Using cutting tools, they made their way inside. This place is massive, whispered Sergeant Kim. Like a flying city. Stay focused, Sung Hoon replied. Command center should be 2 levels up. They moved quickly through empty corridors. The few aliens on board were no match for Lee's silent rifle. At the command center, Officer Yoon got to work. She connected devices to the alien computers. I'm in, she said after a few minutes, downloading their battle plans, ship locations, everything. Sergeant Kim placed small devices around the room. Explosives set, Colonel, but not enough to destroy the ship. We don't need to destroy it, Sung Hoon said. Just send our message. Back at Earth, the battle was not going well for the hegemony. Their ships were powerful, but Earth's defenses were clever. Small, fast Earth fighters flew between the big hegemony ships, causing confusion. This is taking too long, Thax said angrily. Use the main cannons. Destroy their major cities. But, Commander, an officer protested, that would kill millions of civilians. Do it, Thax shouted. Suddenly, every screen on the command ship changed. Colonel Sung Hoon's face appeared. Hello, Commander Thax, he said calmly, looking for me. Thax's 4 eyes widened. How are you on our screens? I'm not just on your screens, Sung Hoon replied. Right now, I'm on your flagship, the Eternal Victory *. We've taken your command codes, your battle plans, everything. Impossible. Thax roared. You keep using that word about humans. Sung-hoon said, "You should stop." The screen showed Sung-hoon walking through the Eternal Victory placing devices on key systems. "By now, we've sent all your secret plans to every Earth ship, and to your enemies in the Void Collective." Thax turned to his officers. "Contact the Eternal Victory now." "Oh, they can't answer," Sung-hoon said. "We've locked out their communications, and in about 30 seconds, the special devices we planted will activate." Thax watched helplessly as Sung-hoon's team returned to their ship and departed. "What have you done?" Thax demanded. Sung-hoon smiled. "Nothing deadly, just a little human surprise." Across the hegemony fleet, thousands of screens suddenly changed. They all showed the evidence of Thax's crimes, including Admiral Juwoo's murder. Every soldier, every officer saw the truth. On 3 ships, alien crews turned against their commanders. The resistance had begun. 1 month after the battle at Earth, Colonel Sung-hoon's ship landed on the planet Athos. The world was covered in tall silver towers and complex machines. The Athosi were known as the best engineers in the galaxy. Their leader, Elder Core, met Sung-hoon at the landing pad. The Athosi were thin blue beings with 6 fingers on each hand. "We watched your message, Colonel," Elder Core said. "For 50 years, the hegemony has taken our technology and given little in return. Will you help us?" Sung-hoon asked. "We will," Elder Core replied. "The hegemony grows weak. Already, 3 systems have broken away since your broadcast." Sung-hoon smiled. "That's just the beginning." Back on the Defiance Technical Officer Yoon worked with 3 Athosi engineers. They studied the ship's weapons. "Your laser technology is good," said one Athosi, "but we can make it better." Yoon nodded excitedly. "And we can share our stealth systems with you." On the bridge, Sung-hoon received a message from Lieutenant Mina. "Colonel, I've made contact with the Vril. They want to meet you." The Vril were a telepathic species with powerful mental abilities. The hegemony had banned their practices and forced them to work as simple laborers. "Set course for the Vril homeworld," Sung-hoon ordered. 2 weeks later, the Defiance had gathered representatives from 3 alien species: the Athosi engineers, the telepathic Vril, and the warrior Korvax, who were once mighty fighters before the hegemony broke their spirit. "Together, we can defeat Thax," Sung-hoon told them. "Not just for Earth, but for all free worlds." "The hegemony has ruled for 1,000 years," said Korvax leader Draz. "They have millions of soldiers." "Numbers aren't everything," Sung-hoon replied. "We've studied their tactics. They never change, but we will." Technical Officer Yoon stepped forward with diagrams. "We can combine Athosi technology with Vril telepathic shields and Earth stealth systems," she explained. "The hegemony won't be able to track our ships." The alien leaders looked impressed. "And with Korvax battle knowledge," Sung-hoon added, "we can train fighters across a dozen worlds." On the hegemony capital world, Supreme Commander Thax faced the Galactic Council. Many members looked angry. "Your attack on Earth failed," said Counselor Xyra. "And now we have rebellion in 3 systems. Minor setbacks," Thax insisted. "I will crush these humans, and any who stand with them." "You've underestimated them from the start," Xyra said. "I warned you." Thax glared at her. "Are you siding with the enemy, Counselor?" "I side with reason," she replied calmly. "Perhaps we should open talks with Earth." "Never," Thax shouted. "I will lead our main fleet myself. We will end this rebellion once and for all." As Thax stormed out, Xyra sent a secret message. It traveled across subspace to Lieutenant Mina's secure channel. "Thax gathers the main fleet, 500 warships. He leads personally." On the bridge of the Defiance Sung-hoon read the message from Xyra. "So she's helping us now?" asked Surgeon Kim. "She sees which way the wind is blowing," Sung-hoon replied. "Thax is losing support." He called his allies together. Human officers stood beside Athosi, Vril, and Korvax representatives. Thax is gathering his fleet, Sunghun said. He expects a big battle, a show of force to crush us all at once. We cannot match such numbers, said Elder Kor. Sunghun smiled. We won't try to. Instead, we'll set a trap. He pointed to the map of the solar system. When Thax comes to finish Earth once and for all, he'll find exactly what we want him to find. And then, the real battle begins. In a secret base hidden inside an asteroid, Colonel Sunghun met with his war council. Maps and battle plans covered the walls. Representatives from Earth and their new alien allies stood around a large table. The hegemony expects us to fight like they do, Sunghun said, with big fleets and direct attacks. That's a war we cannot win. Then how do we fight? Asked Korvax leader Draz. Sunghun smiled. We call it the Terran Doctrine. On Earth, when a small force fights a larger one, they use different tactics. Lieutenant Nina stepped forward. Instead of attacking their warships, we target their supply lines. She pointed to different spots on the star map. The hegemony has fuel depots here, here, and here. They have communication relays in these systems. Without these, their fleet cannot function properly. But they will guard these places, said Elder Kor of the Athosi. Not as heavily as they should, Sunghun replied. Thax thinks in terms of big battles. He doesn't understand small strikes. Over the next month, human and allied ships hit the hegemony in dozens of places. They never stayed to fight. They struck quickly and disappeared. A fuel depot would explode. A communication relay would go silent. Supply ships would vanish. On his command ship, Thax grew more angry each day. Where are they? He shouted. Why can't we catch them? They're using hit-and-run tactics, an officer explained. Small, fast ships. They're gone before we can respond. Find their base. Thax ordered. They must have a central location. But they didn't. Sunghun had divided his forces into many small groups. Each had its own mission. They never stayed in one place for long. On a small moon, Lieutenant Minna led a team into a hegemony records facility. They moved silently through the building. Download everything, she told her team. Personnel files, supply routes, security codes. One of her officers looked nervous. Won't they know we were here? Not for days, Minna said. By then, it won't matter. Back on their ship, Minna sent the stolen data to all resistance forces. Now they knew exactly where to strike next. In the hegemony capital, Councillor Xyra met secretly with other council members. Thax is losing control, she told them. 20 systems have now joined the Earth Alliance. But he still commands the main fleet, said another councillor. For now, Xyra replied, but his ships lack fuel. His supply lines are cut, and his officers are starting to question his leadership. What do you suggest? We must be ready, Xyra said. When Thax falls, the council must have a plan for peace. On the Defiance *, Colonel Sunghun received an urgent message. It was from Earth Command. Thax is on the move, said the Earth President. The main hegemony fleet. 500 ships heading directly for Earth. Sunghun nodded calmly. Just as we expected. Thax is desperate. He needs a big victory. Our defenses are ready, the President said. But can they hold against so many ships? They don't need to hold for long, Sunghun replied. Just long enough for our trap to work. He turned to his crew. Send the signal to all Allied forces. Operation Juwu begins now. Across dozens of systems, the resistance forces received the message. Small ships, fighters, and converted cargo vessels changed course. They all headed to one place. Earth. The final battle was about to begin. But not the battle Thax expected. The hegemony fleet filled the space near Earth. 500 warships, the largest armada ever assembled. At its center was Thax's new flagship, Unstoppable asterisk. On its bridge, Supreme Commander Thax looked at the blue planet. "Where are their defenses?" he asked. "I expected more resistance." "It appears most of their ships have fled, Commander," an officer reported. Thax smiled with all four of his eyes. "They know they cannot win. Begin the attack. Target their major cities first." The massive fleet moved forward. Earth seemed helpless before them. Hidden in Jupiter's strong magnetic field, Colonel Sungun watched on the Defiance's screens. Beside him stood representatives from all allied species. "They took the bait," he said. "Thax thinks we've run away." "All ships report ready," said Officer Yun. "Earth defenses are in position." Sun-Hoon nodded. "Begin Phase 1. Hidden platforms around Earth's moon activated, but instead of firing weapons, they released clouds of tiny metal particles. The clouds spread quickly, surrounding the hegemony ships. "What is this?" Thax demanded as the particles appeared on his screens. "Some kind of primitive weapon." Then the particles began to glow. Each one was a tiny signal disruptor, designed by the Athosi engineers. "We're losing communications between ships," an officer reported. "And our targeting systems are failing." Thax slammed his fist down. "Use visual targeting. Fire all weapons." But before they could, Sun-Hoon gave his next order. Phase 2. Now. From behind Jupiter, 400 ships appeared. Not just human vessels, but ships from all the allied species. They had been hiding there, waiting. "All ships, attack pattern Juwu," Sun-Hoon ordered. "Target their engines first." The allied ships moved in perfect formation, striking from multiple directions. Each group knew its exact task. This was not a wild battle. It was a careful plan, practiced for weeks. On the Unstoppable Thax watched in shock as his fleet came under attack. "Where did they come from?" he roared. "Return fire. Crush them." But the hegemony ships could not coordinate. With their communications cut, each captain fought alone. They were used to fighting as one large force, following Thax's orders. The allied ships were different. Each captain knew what to do, even without constant orders. "They're breaking formation," reported Sergeant Kim on the Defiance. "Just as you predicted, Colonel." Sun-Hoon nodded. "Begin Phase 3. The battle was fierce. Both sides took heavy losses. Explosions lit up the space around Earth like new stars. On the Defiance, Sun-Hoon watched as the hegemony fleet slowly fell apart. Their tight formation had become chaos. "Prepare boarding craft," he ordered. "Target the Unstoppable asterisk." "Sir?" Officer Choi looked surprised. "You're going to board Thax's flagship." "This ends today," Sun-Hoon said, "one way or another." A small craft left the Defiance, carrying Sun-Hoon and his best fighters. They approached the massive hegemony flagship. "Their shields are down on the port side," reported Sniper Lee. "We can cut through there." The craft attached to the Unstoppable like a tiny parasite on a whale. Using cutting tools, they made their way inside. "Remember," Sun-Hoon told his team, "our target is the command bridge. Thax will be there." They moved quickly through the damaged ship. Fires burned in many corridors. The few hegemony soldiers they met were busy fighting the fires, not expecting boarders. Outside, the battle raged on. But its outcome would be decided here, in the heart of the enemy flagship, where Colonel Sun-Hoon headed for his final confrontation with the alien who had murdered his friend. Colonel Sun-Hoon and his team fought their way to the command deck of the Unstoppable. Sergeant Kim used small explosives to open the final door. The command center was huge. Supreme Commander Thax stood at its center, his four eyes blazing with anger. Several officers stood nearby, weapons ready. "You," Thax shouted when he saw Sun-Hoon. "How dare you board my ship?" "It's over, Thax," Sun-Hoon said calmly. "Your fleet is in ruins. Earth stands, and half the hegemony has joined us. Thax drew his weapon. Nothing is over. I still command the hegemony. Look outside, Sung Hoon said, pointing to the viewing screens. The screens showed the battle. The hegemony ships were either destroyed, disabled, or retreating. Some had even turned against their own side. This is impossible, Thax whispered. You never understood humans, Sung Hoon said, or any of the species you ruled. You thought fear was enough to control us. He stepped closer to Thax. You murdered a diplomat, a soldier, my friend, Sung Hoon said. But more importantly, you underestimated humanity. One of Thax's officers suddenly aimed his weapon at Thax, not Sung Hoon. Commander Thax, the officer said, the council has voted. You are removed from command. More officers turned their weapons on Thax. What is this? Thax demanded. Traitors, all of you. No, said a new voice. Councillor HFY entered the room. We are not traitors. We are saving what remains of the hegemony. She turned to Sung Hoon. Colonel, I speak for the new council. We wish to discuss peace terms. 3 months later, representatives from 50 species gathered on Earth. They met in a new building called the Confederation Hall. Its design combined architecture from all member worlds. Sung Hoon, now wearing a formal uniform, watched from the side as the President of Earth spoke. Today marks the beginning of the Galactic Confederation, the President said. Unlike the hegemony, we will be a union of equals. Each world will have a voice. Councillor HFY, now the leader of the former hegemony worlds, nodded in agreement. For too long, we ruled through force, she admitted. The humans showed us a better way. After the ceremony, the President approached Sung Hoon. They want to make you the first commander of the Confederation forces, she told him. Sung Hoon shook his head. I'm not a politician, Madam President. I'm a soldier. What would you prefer? Sung Hoon looked up at the stars visible through the hall's clear roof. There's still so much we haven't explored, he said. I'd like to lead a mission of discovery, not conquest. The President smiled. I think that can be arranged. 1 week later, Sung Hoon stood at a memorial service. A statue of Admiral Kang Ju-woo had been unveiled. It showed him looking up at the stars, just as he had done on the Unity when humans first met the hegemony. Representatives from all Confederation worlds had come to pay respect. Lieutenant Mina, now Captain Mina, stood beside Sung Hoon. He would be proud, she said. Everything we've accomplished. Sung Hoon nodded. He always believed we had something to offer the galaxy. And now? Now we have a chance to build something better, Sung Hoon said. Not just for humans, but for everyone. The next day, Sung Hoon boarded his ship, the New Horizon *. It was larger than the Defiance *, built for exploration rather than war. His crew included humans and members of other species, all volunteers eager to see what lay beyond known space. As the ship left Earth's orbit, Sung Hoon took one last look at his home planet. Course, sir? Asked Officer Choi. Sung Hoon smiled. Second star to the right, and straight on till morning. The New Horizon * turned and accelerated into the unknown, carrying with it the hope of a new galactic age, one built not on fear, but on cooperation and respect.